So in this video, I'm going to show you how I start the dog's head. I did make a wee video, and my video skills, to be honest, are not always the best. So when I looked at the video after making it, I realised that so much of what I was doing was out of camera. I've had to start again. So what I have done, we're working on, let me just check, we're definitely in camera, yes. So what we're going to work on a medium snouted dog, because there's so much variation in dogs between a long-nosed dog like a whippet, greyhound, you know, all those sight hounds tend to have quite long noses, and then you go on the other side of the scale, there would be pugs that are very flat-nosed dogs. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to work on a medium snouted dog. So that would be your Labrador, Retriever, Spaniel, Jack Russell, some breeds of Jack Russell, yes, Beagle, average, you know, your medium snouted dog. So I've cut a piece of clay that is going to be as thick as the snout of the dog. And then what I'm going to do is slice it and push out to get the thickness of the head. So it's only, the clay is approximately 5 centimeters thick. So approximately 5 centimeters thick, and the clay is approximately, what's that, 17, yeah, 17 centimeters long. So I've taken a piece of clay. The first thing I'm going to do is roughly mark the halfway point. So what I'm going to do is that clay is roughly 2 hand widths wide, but you can measure it and work it out that way. So I'm going to do it, it's 2 widths, so I'll take from the end to there is half. I'm going to draw that line down, that's my halfway line. And then half of that again, which would be quarter of the total length, would be there. So that means I'm going to go gradually from here to that line. But how I figure out how high the snout is so I'm going to go half of this is going to be the height from the top of the skull to the bottom. So that halfway mark, the back of the head, from behind the outer corner of the eye to the back of the head, that distance is the same as that distance. So the height is the same as the length of this section of the head. So I've already done that and cut that off to size. I then, just as a rough guide, I'm going to take half of that measurement, run that across, and that's going to give me the line of the top of the nose. So I've taken a half of that, gone across, and that'll give me the line for the nose. Then I can draw on a diagonal line from this halfway to the quarter line, and that's going to give me roughly, depending on the breed of course, that's going to give me roughly the angle of that stop between the eyes. So once I had that angle done, then I cut that bit off. I then made a slice in the inside. So a slice down the center from about halfway there to the back of the head. Now you don't want this, and then you start pushing the clay out, but you don't want the clay to get any thinner than about a finger thickness. But before I start pushing out, I want to think about where the eye is going to be. So we know that the eye is going to, the outside corner of the eye is going to sit on this line, and it's not going to come this side of it. So the eye is not going to extend into this bit. The eye is going to sit in front of here. I also know that the center of the eye, the pupil of the eye, looks along the snout. So if I can go along that angle, and that's going to give me the center of the eye. I'm going to take a thumb and come in a thumb's distance from the snout. And then I'll go half above and half below that line, and I can push into that. So that's just going to give me the start of where the socket's going to be. The other line I'm going to use is from that halfway line to here. I'm going to put the quarter mark in there, another quarter mark here. And that's going to give me the jawline of the dog. Well, it'll come out slightly here and then round, but that jawline, that quarter mark is going to help me with that jaw. So now I'm going to, using this pen tool, I'm going to mark, so half the center of the eye. Think about that. I'll draw a large egg shape there, and then another smaller egg shape here, and then there will be a wee bit more of an area here. So once I've drawn those three areas on, I'm going to put my fingers inside and gently push out into those three areas. So I'm going to start with this lower area and push out. I don't want to do it now because I'll be doing it in class. So I'll push out into this area, then I'll push out into that area, and then I'll blend them together. And you'll end up with this large volume here, a volume above the eye, and then we'll work out into a wee bit of an area here. But then once I have those two egg-shaped areas pushed out, then I can smooth the surface. But I don't want to push out beyond that quarter line. That'll give me the jawline, and that'll give me into the neck. I then pushed into the eye and pushed slightly up to give me a wee bit more of a socket, but still the center of the eye will look along the sight line of the top of the nose. The next thing I did was I just give it a wee bit of a squeeze to create more of a bridge of the nose, and then where it'll come out round as the skin and muscles cover the teeth. But I want to create a wee bit of a bridge of the nose there. So the next thing to look at was that I also took the corner off here and the corner off here and the corner off there, just around the edges slightly. So the nose sticks out slightly proud of the area where the skin and muscle covers the teeth. The nose also has a tendency to droop down slightly. So it protrudes and drips down slightly. But again, that can be breed specific as well. So for the first video, this is really all I wanted to cover, the making of the skull. The other areas that we can look at is just to make sure you have. So if you feel your dog's head, you will feel like there's a ridge of bone here. So we can, and that comes out into a wee ridge there. We can start to put that in. I will add photographs of the skull so you can see because you get this area here, so there's a ridged area there, and this is at an angle. So that would be all we'd want to achieve in our first session. And that the other thing we could look at is the eye socket, that it has a diagonal, that you're pressing it diagonally from this thickness to this thickness. You're going diagonally to join those together. So that takes us, that would cover the first session that we'll be working on tonight. Okay, thanks for watching.